earphone adjustments.
Ugh.
Okay. I need to lean back in my chair here and get comfy. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Kristina, how are you? She's dickering with her.
Yeah.
Doesn't dicker more mean to like bargain?
Yeah.
So technically you're not, I mean, maybe you're bargaining with all the doohickeys, but...
Well, I like it when you use language creatively, so that's fine. You can say I'm dickering with my recording device.
All right. You do kind of like plead with it sometimes, so...
I do. That's confusing, but I don't really mind being confused for a certain amount of time, but if it goes over the line and things don't get cleared up, then, you got to do something. So,
Bye, Courtney.
I'm going to adjust my windscreen a little bit there. Okay.
I met my sister and niece and nephew in the parking lot, and my niece desperately wanted to come up here and be on the show with us, but I figured that there were probably already kids in the studio before us, which I was right.
You were right, correct.
And once you add my niece and nephew to other children, mayhem ensues.
Yeah. Well,
We don't need any more vagina poop cake being shouted out
no.
on the airwaves.
I think we got a good dose of it last week. I appreciated it, but it sort of came to a logical conclusion, and we don't need to talk about it again.
Right.
Yeah. Some things don't stand up to the test of time.
Nope. That was one of them.
Thank goodness. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, welcome to the show, Emily, my co-host.
You're welcome. I mean, that's not what I meant to say. Thank you, Kristina Stykos, my other co-host of 11th Hour Radio.
My pleasure.
I'm trying to sneakily do the rest of the introduction because we're so subtle and no one realizes what we're doing.
Right.
Fine.
Do you think they actually know that we're doing a radio show? Is
Probably
it possible?
not. They probably think they've accidentally crossed airwaves with the two wackos who are just monkeying around somewhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you haven't. You have actually tuned in to the 11th Hour Radio Show, broadcasting live every Friday at 11 from WFVR LP, South Royalton, Vermont, Royalton Community Radio, 96.5.
On Dickerman Hill.
No, it isn't on Dickerman Hill. You just
I
wanted to
miss
say
old
Dicker
Dickerman.
again.
I just miss old Dickerman.
I have not been up that road. I have not been up that road in ages.
I haven't either.
Although I should, because Brocklebank Brewery is up there, and I need to go and talk to the Linahans because I believe our venue is going to be hosting Oktoberfest this October with lots of local craft beers.
I didn't know that's where Brocklebank was. The brewery.
Well, they live on Brocklebank Road, but the brewery is actually on Dickerman.
Well, see, we've uncovered a mystery.
It's not a mystery.
There's all kinds of mysteries to uncover today. Like more, I picked out another mystery driveway.
Okay.
But actually...
Is it in Tunbridge?
No, so you're not going to know. It's really a mystery because you won't know who's... But here's the cool thing is that I picked it driving home. It's in Chelsea. It's a 78 Upper Village Road. And then I realized that last week's mystery driveway was 87, number 87, the reverse. Get it?
Oh my God. It's
Wow.
like aliens have come to the planet.
It's that type of a week for sure.
Wow.
It's an alien type of a week.
Is this before your house?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is then.
Yeah, you'll notice it one day. It goes up into the woods very mysteriously. It's across from the car guy.
What car guy?
The guy who did such a bad job on my brakes. I shouldn't
know
say
which
that.
person you're talking about.
I shouldn't be mean. It was probably just an accident. So we won't go into it anymore.
I had brake trouble this week too. We just had taken John's car in because remember how I told you the whole back end was like sliding around on roads. So we took it in because I was like, "What's wrong with it?" And they were like, "Oh, you need to have your entire struts and something done." So brought it in and had that done. I drove it away from the mechanics, and as I came down Potash Hill, I started to put on the brakes because I was going downhill, and nothing happened. And I thought, "Oh, it's funny," and I put on the brakes a little bit harder, and nothing happened.
No.
And I'm going a lot faster and going a little further, and I'm pushing the brakes and nothing's happening.
No, that's impossible.
No. And so I'm like, oh God, I think that this car's emergency brake does not work. So do I shift down?
You defended these mechanics.
It wasn't them. The brake line literally just like snapped right then. Like,
okay.
So we had to, I managed by pumping it and slamming on it to slow down enough at the bottom of the hill that I did not roll across the road and smash into the town offices. So we had to just turn around and bring it back.
Okay. If it's not your mechanics, then
no, my mechanics are awesome.
It's Mars in retrograde.
It's
obviously
not their fault that we make them work on like 1997 vehicles that just every part on them pops and snaps, and it's just not cool.
Really, you think it's just you have a practical solution?
Practical solution would be getting a new car, but like unfortunately, even though I can't really afford these little repairs that happen every week, I can afford them more than I can afford a new car, which is stupid because in the end I will have wasted a lot more money on these repairs, but I don't have the bulk of the money to put into a new car. So it's just like every week I just have to put my paycheck in to the repairs. But I don't, and everyone's always like, just stop, you're wasting your money, get a new car. But they don't understand that's not an option because they don't have the money to get a new car.
Right. Yeah. Some things are just too hard to do.
I know.
Like getting a lot of money together is just too hard to do for some of us. Selling a house is too hard. Like selling my house is just too hard.
I know.
I don't think I could do it. I get close to trying.
I know.
Maybe I think
the right person eventually will come along when you're least expecting it, though, and it'll just happen.
Yeah, just think if it's so hard. Like, everything doesn't work about it. I mean, about trying to sell it. Like, the realtor doesn't call back I don't
think you should leave.
Well, maybe it's a sign.
I have always thought you shouldn't leave.
Maybe we'll all move somewhere together.
Although when I thought you were maybe coming to Tunbridge, I was a little more happy. But
yeah, I like Tunbridge. I used to like Tunbridge a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wink, wink. Yeah. Well, anyway, it'll work out. I'm not super worried about it. I'm just not going to get worried about it. There's too many other things to worry about.
No kidding. You just got to go day by day. Something will happen. That's what I keep telling myself. It was a rough week, and I had to keep saying that.
Yeah, it was.
Just got to get through this day.
Your dogs got pepper sprayed. I can't believe it.
I'm really upset about that because everybody who knows us, and everyone knows our dogs, know that we have the most ridiculously friendly dogs.
You need to put up a sign that says dogs are friendly.
That's what my sister Jen just said.
Yeah,
because we also have lots of hiking trails on our property, and we allow everybody to hike there, and we have there's a legal trail also goes straight through our property. So it's not like people are out of line hiking there, even if we didn't have trails of our own.
And you have the biggest dog in Tunbridge.
Yes.
So he looks scary, probably.
I know. That's the thing. I feel partially in the wrong just because my dog is large. But he approaches everyone with love. There's no way you can mistake what he's doing for, like, aggression because his tail is wagging. And sometimes he goes, bark. Yeah, a little bit. He barks a little bit, but he's just saying hi.
I know, but some people are scared of dogs.
I know.
So that's, they might have an exaggerated response to it, which is just the way that some people are.
My dog is so sensitive now that he's just terrified. Like, he will not come out of the house.
Yeah, but you got him some ice cream.
We took him to the band concert and ice cream last night to try to... he's still a puppy, and I just didn't... With a big dog, you don't want something bad to happen, which may make a dog fear and then possibly in the future lash out in aggression because...
Well, hopefully it just scared him a little bit so he won't jump on people.
He's terrified. Well, he never jumps on people because he's already like at face height anyway, but...
Yeah.
So I wanted to take him around and show him again that strangers are nice and will not pepper spray him.
Well, one thing I was wondering about dogs and ice cream, like dogs don't eat sugar in the wild.
No.
So, did they actually taste the sugar? Did they like it?
He loved it. He really loved it.
Because I know some people...
I gave him a dentabone afterward just in case, so he didn't get any cavities.
That's good. That was good thinking. Balance one with the other. Like, eat your vegetables, and then you can have some ice cream. Eat your dentabone. Dentabone. Sounds like you dent your teeth on the bone. But... Yeah, so it's
I have to buy, like, elephant bones for that dog to chew on. Like, they're really big. I don't know what creature the bones come from that I buy for him.
Huh.
Like, really large
like, mushed up
cows.
stuff. It doesn't even matter what kind of animal it is, because it's just smushed up guts.
No, the bone. Like a big
Oh,
a big bone.
I thought you meant
no, not like the fake,
like dog bones.
You mean like rawhides? Oh, I would never.
No, the ones in the box that you get at the grocery store.
Oh, like milk bones, like chewies? Oh,
yeah,
no.
that's all gushed up guts.
No, we don't really give them those things.
That's innards.
We give them little bits of real.
It's like eyeballs.
Meat if we're going to do that, but no, don't anybody ever buy rawhides for your dogs. I know they sell them everywhere, but they're really dangerous. When they get wet, they swell up and they can choke your dog. And they swell up in their bellies and they swell up in their intestines. They're just not digested. I know that they're everywhere, and you would think that things that are just covering the walls in the dog aisle would be safe, but they're actually not. They're gross.
Sorry, I just have
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Buy them real bones.
You know, there's things that I'm glad about this week. There's things that I'm really not glad about, but then there's things that I'm glad about. And one thing I'm really glad about is that we don't have chiggers in Vermont.
Yeah, but we have ticks. I feel like ticks are just as bad.
Well, I've been getting just chomped up by lots of bugs. Like deer flies came out a couple days ago, and
we don't
have
bugs at our house.
Well, I've just taken the strategy of just let them just kind of coexist. I don't use any bug spray or anything, but I'm at a gardening job. I'm sort of captive. I'm a captive.
You could wear the little net head things.
No, I can't. I can't when I'm working.
I have a hard time breathing with those on, even though clearly the air can come through them. If something is sort of obstructing my face, I feel like I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I'm weird like that.
Right, me too.
And I can't sleep if any object or person's face or anything is really close to mine.
Right, me too.
Because I can feel my breath coming back at me, the heat or something.
Yes,
I like to have clear...
I agree.
Yeah, so those bug nets make me feel really claustrophobic.
Yeah, so I just was bitten for half a day. I got just completely bitten, but I got home and I didn't have bites. I mean, I don't feel, well, I had some bites, but I feel like I do get tick bites, and in some cases I don't really know that it's a tick and I just scratch it off. I mean, I'm outdoors in the bushes for hours. Mm-hmm. So
they just don't eat they just don't bite some people though.
Could be.
I mean, I don't get them on me often. I'm going to knock on some wood right now, but I think I'm one of those people whose skin must emit a scent or a taste that they don't like because they don't. And then I see them constantly on other people. My little boy Ira, they love him. They're always getting him, but they never get Eli.
Interesting.
And they're in the same places at the same time.
Fascinating.
So there must be something. There must be something.
So interesting. Mm-hmm. So. I'm sorry. Yeah. I just feel like we talk about ticks a lot, and we don't really come to any grand conclusions about them, except that we try to dissipate some of the negative energy about them.
They're testing cat blood, though, to figure out, because cats don't get Lyme disease, so they're trying to figure out what antibodies that cat blood has in it that we could maybe borrow.
Awesome.
So
love that cat blood.
You could be a true cat lady. You could be injecting some cat blood into you every time you go out gardening, so you won't get ticks.
Speaking of mice and cats, I have a little problem now.
What?
Is that, I had Danny Mascavita make that nice gate for me that keeps my cats.
That's where I heard that name. That name, does he have a yellow dog?
Danny?
Yeah.
Penny. His dog's named Penny. You talking about Dave or Danny?
Oh, Dave.
Oh, I don't know. Yes.
Are they brothers?
No. Dave's the dad. Oh. Danny's the son.
Okay, well, that name, Dave, with a yellow dog, keeps popping up like, do you want this as your friend on Facebook? And I'm like, where have I heard that name before? And now I'm just realizing that you sort of said it when you were talking about the person who built your cat gates all over your house.
Yeah, that was Danny.
Danny. So Danny. Not the one that keeps popping up on my Facebook feed.
Okay.
But whatever. It's probably the same thing.
Yeah, so the cats can't go upstairs, but now I have mice on the second and third floors of my house.
Oh, they know. They're like, this is a cat-free zone.
Yeah, and you know how I figured.
Mouseland.
So I went to get a Q-tip the other day out of the little Q-tip container, and I pulled one out, and one of the ends was like ruffled. I thought,
they're eating Q-tips?
Yeah, they were eating.
Like they can't find enough to eat?
Well, they can't, obviously. Here's another example of what they did. I had some Airbnb guests who used my bathtub, and they had a little girl, and after they left, I went in and examined, or I just noticed that the bar of soap was mangled, like it had all these scratch marks.
Oh my God, the mice are eating soap?
Well, I thought it was the little girl playing with the bar of soap, but then I finally realized there was mice eating the bar of soap. I get this nice natural soap that must have good stuff in it, like nutritious.
It's probably got goat's milk or something yummy in it.
Yeah.
But gross.
I know,
like
it's kind
mouse
of gross.
mothers are like washing their mouse babies' mouths out with soap.
I know. What can I do? Do I have to let my cats upstairs now? I could put my Have a Heart trap upstairs with peanut butter in it.
What are you going to do when you catch them?
I take them. I drive them to a luxury hotel. I take them up to.
It's illegal to transport a wild animal. Isn't that ridiculous?
I do it secretly. I do it with stealth.
You're telling everybody right now.
I know, but nobody's going to see me slipping out at 2 a.m. to go.
But you're admitting your crimes now.
You know where I'm going to take them? I'm going to take them to the Pierre Motel in Barrie.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. I always wanted to go there. I always wanted to stay there.
I didn't. I think I heard that there was a break-in there once, but actually I think it was the bank right next to the bank kind of looks just the same. It's like on a corner. It's got the same.
Really? Which bank? There's so many
banks.
There's
like a TD bank, and then there's the Pierre Motel.
Isn't it funny that, like, towns that have a lot of poor people have a lot of banks?
Yes.
Like, what's that all about?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's strange. Like, Barrie has too many banks. It shouldn't have so many.
Yeah.
And, like, half of them are credit unions. That makes sense. Cheap loans, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to drive the mice all the way to Barrie.
Well, I don't have anything else to do.
Okay.
With my life.
Right. Okay.
So why not? Yeah.
You could just save on cat food and give them to your cats.
Oh, Emily, fie.
Well, I'm sorry, vegetarian lady. Your cats aren't vegetarians.
Vegetarians have so many hidden issues that other people don't realize.
I have
like all the animals come to me. And this can be
then you have to decide what to do morally.
This is what happens. Like, my neighbors who are pig farmers, all those pigs have gravitated up to my property line because I'm convinced of it. I know because the pigs know that I am a safe haven sanctuary for pigs. Like, if they could only get through the high tensile fencing, they would be on safe terra firma, a safe place for pigs. Which there aren't very many.
They're seeking asylum.
There's not many places in the world now where pigs can be safe.
Can't say I love pigs, but I wouldn't.
It's not about love. It's about respect.
Okay. You know what? I was a vegetarian for quite a long time, but I used to have this weird moral dilemma as a child whenever I ate animal crackers because I loved animal crackers. They tasted great, but I always first bit the head off. Always, because I didn't want it to suffer. I wanted to just get it out of its misery, and then I would eat the rest of it. Like some cruel people, really nasty types, will eat like one leg at a time, maybe the hindquarters, and so it's still suffering. I just want to put it out quick.
Is that because you were homeschooled?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the weird thing is, I still eat animal crackers that way, or anything that's shaped like an animal. I always just quickly bite off its head.
Yeah, I haven't had any food like that since my kids went to college and moved away. Well, actually, I shouldn't say my kids went to college because only one got through college. The others hated college, kind of hate. Well, they have love-hate relationship with college. They drop in, drop out, drop in, go to community college,
That's cool. That's the way it can happen.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't need them to be more brainwashed than they already are by our culture, our brainwashing culture. So,
What about when you eat? Do you ever eat gingerbread men?
Rarely.
Do you bite their head off first? Because I do.
No, I really don't. I might make them, but I don't generally eat them. Okay. I don't think I've had a gingerbread man's. I don't really like them. They're too hard and icky.
Well, you can make them squishier.
Well, you could dip them in coffee, I guess. I don't know. They just disgust me.
I don't like when they put raisins on as like buttons because, the gingerbread man otherwise is kind of naked, but then they put raisins down his belly like buttons, and I'm a little mystified as to why he would buttons on his naked belly.
You know what? It's just like animation. Animation creeps me out, and so do gingerbread men.
Why do animated animals always wear t-shirts and then no bottoms?
I just think
Winnie the Pooh.
That's not animation.
He's running around with a bare butt.
Well, that's the real Winnie the Pooh, of course, was illustrated in a nice way by what's his name, Shepherd. I think was the illustrator for the original Winnie the Pooh.
I heard Winnie the Pooh is really a girl.
No, this is
hard to tell.
This This is fake news.
Oh, all right.
So you should be able to tell the difference between fake news about famous children's books and the real. Come to me. I actually had a dream about my children's book collection the other night.
Yeah.
That there was a brush fire and it was being threatened. Like there were the rest of my library. We had just put out a fire that was threatening my library, but we looked up the hill and my children's book collection was being threatened, and so we had to suddenly run up there and try to put out the fire. It was
what
a
does
tough,
that dream mean,
tough
I
day.
wonder?
I don't know. I
would like to burn some books at my house. We could, I was complaining about cold and winter and how much fire we need. We could burn John's books for like 7 years.
I think John and I should open a bookstore.
He can't sell any though. He would be like, if a customer came up to the counter with a book, he'd be like, "Oh, you want that
he
one,
could
really?"
dicker with them. He could dicker he could keep the ones by dickering.
Children's Bible stories, copyright 1967. No, I can't sell that to you.
Tell John I want to open a bookstore. I'll open a bookstore in Tunbridge with him, okay? It'd be really fun.
I don't think
Chelsea has all
reads.
these empty spaces. We could have a bookstore in Chelsea, for goodness sakes.
Who is going to come to it?
I will.
You can't go to your own bookstore.
Yes, you can.
That defeats the purpose. I want the books to go away.
I'll come in and out.
Oh, you mean you're going to take our books?
Yes.
All right.
See, I'm coming up with a solution for you.
We can cut out the middleman. Why don't you just come to my house and take some books away?
You want to turn your house into a bookstore?
No, I just want them out.
No, I want to hang out with John.
You can.
And just sit around books and John. Sounds like a good way to...
I was combing through some of these stories the other day. Like, so many of them are in different languages, too. And he doesn't speak those languages, so I don't... He's like, oh, it just looks so pretty. It looks so pretty. Look at this book written in Swahili or whatever. And I'm like,
and that's like a hidden treasure. It's like a mystery driveway.
Well,
see, John has that same kind of yearning for the undiscovered, and that's why people like books and people
even if he
like
read one sentence out of every one of his books, it would be longer than he's going to live, like way longer, like a day.
But by the time they're going to have the youth serum, and we're all going to live to at least 200.
I would like some of that now. We're going to youth serum.
I think I read on Facebook somebody said that the human body really could go to 200. And we're just worrying ourselves to death.
I'm like falling the hell apart at 40. I'm not going to make it 200.
Yeah, well, we got to work on your mental attitude.
I have like a wonky eye, and that's really upsetting because I feel like I look like those people.
Yeah, but that's because
the people who have wonky eyes.
But I thought of
you don't know which one to look at.
No, but I thought of you last night.
One of them.
There was a solution presented last night on an astrology channel that there was there was you'll feel so good about this though because there's a nebulae that is conjuncting something like Venus, and it's causing eye problems.
What?
I thought of you. I thought, Emily, if you knew this, you'd feel better, and
I've heard lots of funny things.
Clear up.
Like people are like, "Oh, never mind. I won't say that out loud." What someone just said to me.
You know what's going to make you feel better is that I picked a song specially for you because you like that fishing album so much.
Oh yeah,
right. Exploding Bass, and what was this? Lamprey Love.
Oh my god!
And today,
what is it?
We have Walleye Alley.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
you better put that on now. I don't think I can.
Here we go.
Hold out another second.
All right.
Earl had fished this river stretch since Cain did Abel in. And when he caught a walleye, in the map would go a pin. It wasn't many years before a pattern was revealed. Earl called it Walleye Alley, his private fishing field. Take a ride on Walleye Alley, let Earl be your faithful guide. Catching walleye, making small fry, his luck's not to be denied. Now the others watched in envy at Earl's repeat success. They trolled and cast without a clue, while Earl caught all the rest. They'd swear that river's empty, not a walleye to be found. But Earl's own fishy boulevard field stringers by the pound. Take a ride on Walleye Alley, let her be your faithful guide. Catching walleye, big and small fry, his luck's not to be denied. Well, I wonder what will happen when Earl rounds that final bend. Will the map be shared with others or stay secret to the end? Some would tag behind Earl's boat with hopes he would endorse attempts to match his great success, but they never got on course. Instead they trolled and cast and cursed in unproductive depths. Well, Earl caught that night's dinner on a rusty dead Mets. Take a ride on Walleye Alley, let Earl be your faithful guide. Catching walleye, big and small fry, his luck's not to be denied. Take a ride on Walleye Alley, let Earl be your faithful guide. Catching walleye, big and small fry, his luck's not to be denied.
Yes.
What's a walleye look like?
I have no idea.
Like
I don't fish.
I assume it looks like a fish because
the fish come to me. Because the fish know I don't eat them.
Oh, whatever.
So the fish all come up to me. It's so great, and I pet them. You didn't know I had magical powers, did you? I saw a bear last week.
Fish. I never get to see bears.
There's a lot of bear this year.
Wow.
But I thought it was amazing. I had such a wildlife week. I had so many wildlife experiences.
I think they look like cats. I think bears look like big fat cats.
Well, here's a weird thing is that I was...
Here comes the train.
The train is coming actually late. It's late.
We've missed it for so many weeks because we're always playing music when it comes.
It's coming. It's going. You don't know whether it's coming or going, right? I mean, for some people it's coming, for some people it's going, which
deep,
is
deep, Kristina.
Wow. Well, you see, ordinary things can bring such profound thoughts. You don't really need complicated books to tell you about stuff that's very, very just rife with the contradiction of humanity. I don't know where these words come from, but they do come.
Oh my goodness.
So, I have a story about a magic flute.
Oh my god. All right, get it out of your system.
I just have to tell you because you see there's so much magic in ordinary things. So I have this gardening job, of course you know, and you know how you well, for example, sometimes when you listen to lyrics, you get them wrong, and you get them wrong for years, like the Eurythmics. What is
like
it?
Hot-blooded chicken to see.
Yeah, or
I got a fever.
Or sweet dreams are made of cheese.
Who am I to disagree?
Exactly. You got it. So that happens with sounds too. So I'm at my gardening job, and I, for the last few years, I've been hearing this sound, of a flute. That just
really
kind
a
of
bird?
wafting through the trees. Well, no, it's so convincing. I created this whole imaginary story about the person next door who I happen to know that the people next door are retired. So I thought, the woman, and I don't know why I assumed it was a woman, but I thought she plays the flute and she's practicing. And I mean, this has gone on for years. I would be weeding, and then all of a sudden I'd hear the flute and I'd go, oh, isn't that nice? She's practicing the flute. But it's funny because it was always just the one tone. Like when you first pick up an instrument, you make a sound just to kind of test the waters, and it's just one tone. It was always the one tone. Like I never would hear her playing a sonata or something. So yesterday I'm sitting, weeding, and I hear the flute.
It's an oriole, isn't it?
Well, I just happened to look up at the top of the house, and the weather vane was kind of turning in the breeze. And I realized that all this time, the weather vane has been making this sound
like when you
of
blow
the magic
a bottle or a...
Yeah. And it completely busted apart years
a fantasy
of this fantasy
part.
about the woman next door practicing flute. I don't know. It's very strange.
That is kind of
very strange how stuff like that happens.
We have a little hanging nest of baby orioles that are making a very flute-like sound right now, too. Their mom is trying to convince them to leave, and they're trying to say, no, we don't want to leave. And so she calls to them, and they call back, and it's a fluty clamor.
Nice. Yeah. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
I had it wasn't a fantasy at all. It was actually something that I hadn't thought of in like 25 years. I was scrolling through just Facebook the other day, and some random article went by about some criminal justice lawyer or something, and it was nothing interesting really, but the face on the picture kind of jumped out at me. I said, I recognize that face, but I have no idea where. So I just clicked on it, and I saw the name, and it brought back this totally weird... So when I used to work at summer camp when I was a kid, I had this huge crush on this boy, and I was 16, and he was the coolest like kid from Manhattan who was like nothing like the boys that I grew up with. He was very fashionable and edgy and like urban.
What kind of hair did he have?
He had like salon set dreadlocks. Like I didn't realize they were salon set. I just thought he was wicked cool. He always had them kind of carelessly.
What do you mean
nodded
salon
back.
Salon set?
Like
what does
his
that
parents
mean?
were like psychiatrists in Manhattan, and like he wasn't one of those kids who just had like grubby hair. It was like he went to a fancy place and they made dreadlocks in his hair.
You can do that?
Yeah.
You can make them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, they were like perfect and uniform and clean. They weren't like I don't even know how to explain it. But anyway, I was infatuated with him, and he was super popular, and I followed him like everywhere all summer long because I was kind of a dope and I didn't really know how to do this thing.
You had those cool glasses.
I did. The cool glasses.
The blue.
And like I tried to like figure out everything I could learn about him. Like I would write down everything I could, his schedule so I could be in the right place. I tried to dress cooler because clearly he was a cool person.
Yeah.
I found out that his favorite movie was Harold and Maude, so I watched it like a bazillion times. Trying to get clue. I don't know. It was weird. You know the things you do when you're a stupid teenage girl.
Of course.
Anyway, my housemate at the time at this camp was this little tiny gay Italian chef who was he was awesome, and he was always giving me life advice. And he finally sat me down and he said, Emily, boys like that, they only want girls that they think they can't have. And it's like a spoiled brat power move. Like he was kind of trying to warn me off of this guy. This kid is bad news. He's a rich kid, not in your league, and also probably not that nice. Like, and I took his advice differently. I said, oh, they want people that they think they can't have. So then I went out of my way to like ignore him and flirt with other boys. And immediately the next day, he just like grabbed my hand and walked me back to my cabin, and like it had begun. And it was and I thought like I was super smart by
my gosh,
doing this thing. And sorry, this is a long story.
That was a big summer for you.
It was a big summer for me.
That was a turning point, I can tell.
Yeah, and I was 16, and like, you
learned how to manipulate guys.
It was
just
really creepy.
That Italian
I ended up getting kind
of
manipulated myself. So I was, we made out a couple times in rowboats, and then it was like there was a big last night of camp, like big counselor's bonfire, and all the kids had gone home, and I let this kid get me like super drunk kind of for the first time because I thought, all right, something's going to happen, and I'm a little scared, so I want to be drunk so it's not terrifying. And then, so we go back to an empty cabin, and And technically, I don't really know exactly what fully happened, except for I remember being really scared and telling him to slow down. And he got really angry with me because I was inexperienced and had no idea how to do this.
God.
And so he just stormed out and left me in this like empty cabin on a bare plastic mattress.
No.
Yes. And then the next day he gets on the bus back to New York and is totally cuddled up with this kind of big-breasted, like
terrible,
adorable,
and
beautiful counselor girl immediately.
And
And I'm crying my eyes out as the buses pull away. And my lovely gay Italian, I remember Blas, my chef roommate, used to wear these big pastel bridesmaids hats whenever the sun was out.
Of course.
And I remember him putting his arm around me and walking me back to my cabin to help me pack. And like, so that's the story of
pastel bridesmaids hats.
Yeah, you know those like floppy like ones from they're like chiffon bridesmaid hats. He used to wear them all the time when the sun was out.
Yeah.
And like he had them in all pastel colors, and I just remember watching those buses pull out like back to the city and crying because this
and this guy is a criminal justice lawyer.
I like totally put this kid out of my heart because I was like, that was my introduction to boys /sex / everything, and it was so like humiliating. And he was beautiful. He was like so beautiful that it hurt to look at him. And I looked at him now, and he's like skinny, tiny, balding, not cute, and it just was helpful.
I love that.
It was helpful to me.
That
even though I can see that he's clearly very successful and wealthy, he's nothing about him made anything inside. I think
it's one of the most important things that young women could ever learn about life would be like, okay, that person who is completely ruling your heart, if you could see what they're going to look like
that's so shallow though too.
But it's not just look. It's not that.
Well, I also briefly read the article, and he was defending like some white collar, like real huge ass hat, and I thought to myself, that kind of figures. Like, yeah, it just would not a job I would feel good about doing.
It's just a matter of perspective. It would just give people perspective. It's like this has happened to me so many times that I've kind of reacquainted myself with people that I used to have these like hopeless crushes on as a youth, and I think, you know what, life just ravages people, and the ones that have their heart, some people, however, their heart grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and those are the people that you're looking for, because the rest of it is all such a charade.
It was just a weird feeling to be like, oh wow, I literally haven't thought about this in 25 years or something, and then slam.
Oh, I love that story.
To just be reminded of exactly how that went down, and see lots of things that always set your tone for how you deal with relationships in the future.
Yeah.
Just interesting.
Wow, take heed, world of
Sorry.
World of women.
But it's a little screwy because I was like, for a really long time, I'm like, did I or didn't I? Because I really wasn't 100% sure. Pretty sure not.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that my virginity did not go anywhere that night.
Yeah.
But isn't it weird? Most people know. Most people know immediately. Oh, it was that person or that. But I was so afraid that I made sure that I was pretty intoxicated.
Yeah.
But I think because he got angry and left, I think it didn't happen.
Right.
But I'm a little upset that it's foggy. Most people have either,
I'm going to contact that guy.
No. He probably doesn't even remember.
I'm going to just toy with him.
Anyway, it's kind of weird because I really haven't ever thought of that again.
That's really awesome.
It makes me feel a little funny.
I love it. Wow.
Anyway,
well,
sorry.
That's okay.
That was way too much information to put on the radio.
Sorry. It's
sorry,
good.
People. I was talking to Kristina.
But you know what? I could feel the people moving closer to the radio, just like in the old days when you'd have, the whole family would surround the radio.
Radio. Well, I hope the whole family wasn't surrounding the radio for that story.
Well, I'll say something nice about the disappearing postmistress then.
All right. I just want to say for the record that I was not a whore in any shape or form. Not that I care if anyone's a whore.
You're a human being.
Yeah.
We are all human beings, and we all go through crazy stuff.
I was 16,
Don't even
and
get me started.
I just wanted to start my life, and I thought that was part
That
of it.
is a beautiful, heart-rending story.
It's not. It's really
like
depressing.
It's like a Disney story.
Yeah, there's a lot of bare plastic mattresses, sex, and Disney stories.
It's like Disney gone awry. But that's life. Life is a Disney story gone awry, and plus Disney is not what we should aspire to because it's really a twisted form of our culture. And which brings me back to the topic of animation and how creepy it is, like clowns and all that stuff we talk about that terrifies us.
I really don't like clowns.
I don't either. And clown cars, worse.
Well,
totally worse because there's.
Are you going to blame the clown car for the clown's
No, it's
actions?
just how many clowns can you fit in a car?
Right, but why would the car? Like, why do you care about the car?
Well, I'm just saying because anything
object.
No,
it's not
but
an
anything
evil,
that brings
chuckling clown.
No, anything that brings clowns together en masse is not
like those squirty corsages. You know, the corsages that like have little water squirters in the center. Sorry. That's a stupid invention. Like, can't they come up with something better than that? Like, oh, it's so funny if a corsage sprays water at you.
Wait, let me just...
Clowns, you guys have really coming up short in the humor department.
Okay, look. I just
don't like slapstick in general. Like, people getting whacked in the back of the head with a 2x4, so not funny. Like, my kids like to watch, what are those three stupid people? Three Stooges. Literally, the whole show is just someone turns around with a 2x4 on their shoulder and it whacks everybody over. And I'm like,
you know who does the best? You know who does the best slapstick is Buster Keaton.
My kids love Buster Keaton.
Yeah, he's great.
Okay, and I can stand watching
Charlie
Buster
Chaplin.
Keaton. Yep, I can also stand watching Charlie Chaplin. That's because there's some sly, there's some other stuff slipped in there that's actually entertaining. Whereas the Three Stooges, all it is just people getting whacked and falling over.
I know. But that nurtured us as we grew up. Some of us who grew up like in the 70s or the 60s or whenever we grew up. Well, I mean, we didn't really grow up.
I didn't really grow up with TV, so I didn't really see much of that stuff then. But
I was a typical, like, go in the basement with a TV dinner.
Did you have a rec room or a rumpus room?
Well, it was a basement. It was a basement with a ping pong table, and it was pretty creepy. It was awful. There was an old bar. Like, the people who had the house before actually put a bar in their basement. I mean, this is an ugly, creepy basement, like next to the furnace.
Bars in their basements, with wall to wall, like green carpeting and stuff.
Yeah, this had. I don't think there wasn't any carpeting. It was like some cold linoleum. Oh, yeah. I can't believe how creepy some of my upbringing was. I can't.
Just because you
shudder.
had cold linoleum in your basement doesn't mean your upbringing was creepy.
No, it damaged me. Okay. I'm damaged.
Maybe if it had been called the rumpus room, it would have been less damaging.
How sad is this? Imagine me, 8 years old, sitting in a basement, looking at a black and white television, right?
Well, color wasn't there yet.
No, it's
I
sad.
looked at black and white television, too. Are you sad because your television was black and white, or you're just
No, I'm just sad I was in the basement next to a ping pong table in a damp basement.
All right, well...
That's it. I'm just going to leave you with that image, and we're going to go to another song.
And see what
they say. Nice song called Gardener's Lullaby, which is why I'm a gardener today, because I escaped the basement successfully. So here we go. Okay. That was Rick Zabalos. Yeah, so I wanted to ask your question since we so much enjoy personal growth Friday, right? When we have to...
Love it.
Okay, so I wrote a letter to somebody. I wrote like a 6-page letter to... not
can't
recently.
do that.
No, not recently.
Okay.
It's like a couple of years ago I wrote a 6-page letter, but why did you say you can't do that?
6-page letters mean things. Like
what? Like something's wrong with your life? That you have to write a 6-page letter to somebody?
No, it means that you are insecure about the point that you're sending to them, so you're reiterating it like about 100 times in your letter.
Well, sometimes it's describing 10 years of your life. It's hard even to condense that into letter. 6.
Okay.
So I wrote this person the 6-page letter, and
it's not a mad letter. It's not let me tell you something.
No, it wasn't mad. It was an explanation, like, here's my side of the story, kind of a letter. And so I poured my heart into it, but I knew the person might feel like in the middle of the situation somewhat. So I said at the end, you don't have to write back to me. You don't have to respond to this. I just want for the record to give you my side of the story. Okay, so the issue is they never responded. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and by you saying that they didn't need to, you kind of meant that they should.
I wanted to get this great response of compassion from them, but I didn't get it. So I think I did the right thing, though, just giving them an out, and they took it. It just was disappointing.
I know. There's so many disappointments in life. I'm really sick of disappointments.
Yeah, I'm sick of them, too. We're going to have to kind of...
up the ante here.
You just read my mind. Is that what's happening with this show?
Yes. These headphones actually connect not into that little box over there, but straight to your brain.
Yeah, I think that's where this is all going. It's all going.
I'm so often disappointed in myself more than life situations, though. Like, I just am dumb sometimes, like really dumb. Like, and I want to just smack myself later.
Yeah.
I spent yesterday in a freaking panic because I thought I'd lost the key to my museum, which is like a real big bad deal because I'm the only one there. The only other key is like an hour away in Montpelier.
Oh, geez.
There's no way. And I had a busload, like a tour group about to show up that had reservations like months in advance. It was pretty important that I couldn't just be like, sorry, gone fishing and leave the museum. Like it was not an option. And I always put the key into my little picnic basket that I bring with me. Always. I'm really organized about work stuff, even though I'm not about other stuff. And it wasn't there. It was not there. I looked 100 times, and then I saw that my basket had a crack in the bottom. I thought it must have fallen out in the grass, so I'm crawling around in the grass, getting really upset. And then finally I figure it must have fallen out at my job at work. So I drive to the museum. I'm crawling around in the grass there. It is nowhere, and I'm in a panic now because people are about to show up, and I've got no way to do this. And so I dump everything again out of my basket, and I find that the key had slipped between the pages in a book, and it was there all the time. But I was sweating and crying and just feeling God, I'm such a moron. How do I just misplace things so often? And
okay, I would just like to go back for a minute. I would like to touch back on the nebulae that I spoke of. The nebulae.
Yeah, I've sort of blocked that part of your conversation now, but you can tell me about the nebulae again.
Yeah, that was influencing last week because I also...
Was this the eyeball nebulae?
Yes.
Okay, great. I do remember now.
It was casting confusion. Just you read those fairy tales, or Shakespeare presents this idea also that sometimes spells are cast, but it's not that mysterious. It's really just about positions of planets and kind of what that kind of energy matrix that creates. So we had that going on last week, and not only did you lose your keys, but I forgot my lunch. I packed my lunch. It was peanut butter and jelly.
Whoa.
And I left it in the house.
Oh, no.
Yep. So what did I do? I went to the Barnard store, and I bought yogurt. which was fine. I'm flexible. I'm adaptable. You have to be.
Right. Well, I couldn't really adapt to not having a key. That didn't work.
No, I know.
There was no
comparison.
option.
I hear ya.
Oh.
Let's see. I had just like so many things to talk about today. We went to Peacham Bog. No, we didn't actually get there. We tried to go. That was part of the fun. We tried to go to Peacham Bog from the east side.
Like walking, you mean?
Well, we drove. We went to Devil's Hill. And this is a pet peeve that I have, is why do you name something after the devil? Like a place. Why?
Well, I don't know. I always kind of wondered about like the ski area, Suicide 6. I was like, that just seems like bad marketing.
Well, that I do agree with you. I agree. Like, I don't like that. I just think naming something Devil's Hill.
What's that other one? It's like Ugly Hill. Not Ugly. Mount Horrid. Mount Horrid. You know that one?
That's kind of interesting. I wonder what the root of the word horrid. It feels
probably
like there might be something interesting.
The 6 one isn't scary either.
That's more descriptive, but I feel like the devil is a Christian term. You know, it's an image of a supernatural being. You
see a lot of devil landscape references more out west, too.
Yeah, I just don't...
Devil's Bowl, Devil's Peak,
I don't
Devil's
like it.
Butte, Devil's
I'm just saying for the record, I don't like it. But we went to Devil's Hill, which is in South Peacham.
What was so devilish about it?
There was nothing devilish about it. That's the whole point. So we get up to the top, and you can see Peacham Bog in its glory. I mean, you can see all across. You can see Spruce Mountain.
It's just the apple being held out
to you. Signal Mountain. Yeah, you can see all of it. But getting to the bog from the east side proved to be more challenging than going in from the west side. So we found one.
Devil's at work.
No, not.
Sorry.
It had nothing to do with devils. It had to do with the fact that the state forest people did not want you to go in from the east because we found like one of those gates and we drove in, and according to the map, that was the way in. But the signboard had a map on it that did not even include Peacham Bog. I mean, the bog was there on the map, but they didn't label it, which is bizarre. Everything else was labeled.
There's some passive-aggressive behavior.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about this. Other than...
We're going to try again. Okay. I figured I came home. You know, we drove like a mile down this farm road until it turned into, nothing. And then we turned around and came back out. But I don't mean farm road. I mean, it's like a state forest road that turned into nothing. But when I went to Google Earth, I figured it out. So I'm ready to go back Google in. Earth. I'm ready to go back in.
All right.
They can't stop me.
No, not with their gates and non-labeled bogs.
No, they will never stop me. I will get there to the bog. I want
such a
to
bog
touch
hog.
The bog. Bog hog.
Hey, the little ladies' slippers are out. You might find some of those in the bog.
See, that's why I wanted to get to the bog on time. See, if you miss that, you miss that. You got to wait a whole nother year.
They go home. If it's past 5, the lady slippers pack up and leave work.
It's just so hard to do the things that we love.
I know. I have a whole bunch of plans for the weekend, but I think it's going to rain. I wanted to go strawberry picking and maybe tent out. But
I'm actually looking forward to some rain.
Yeah, we need some. Everything is very dusty, and since we have a wedding business, we need our lawns to look lovely. And
yeah, I want to feel good about being inside and just being in the studio.
Yeah, I like to sleep when it's raining. It makes me feel better about sleeping because something in my mind, I don't sleep well, and I think my mind is like, you are wasting time just laying in this bed. You have 100 million things you should be doing. Why are you laying here like a lazy
I have to train myself to rest. I have to tell myself to, last night I decided I would try to rest my knees. So I put my legs up and I just focused on my knees and I said, knees, relax. Just relax. I just talked to them for a while. And there was actually a deeper level of relaxation that I could get to when I focused on it specifically. So try that. Well, that's easy. I mean, just take a body part.
I can't fully relax unless it's raining, because if it's raining, my brain and my body say together, "Oh, we can't go outside and do anything. It's okay. It's a cancellation of all the things you're supposed to be doing right now."
And the sound. I can relax. The sound is helpful. It's so helpful.
It is.
Those auditory cues that tell us that all is well. Mm-hmm. And on some level, in some part of the universe, all is well.
Yeah. This last wedding that was at our house last weekend, a random guest stood up and took the microphone from the DJ, and apparently he used to be a pro rapper, and he had made up a rap song, and I'm not like a lover of rap, but he made up a rap song about the couple, and it was so good and so funny, and it like brought the house down. It was awesome. We've never had something like that happen.
I love things like that.
It was really cool.
We have to sign off.
What?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, already.
All right. Are you going to take us out with some music? Thank you, sponsors and underwriters, writers, whatever you are, who we forgot to thank, and we'll have to thank in depth next week.
Yeah, we'll thank them much more next week, because we have it in us to do it.
Worst DJs ever.
So thanks for listening to 11th Hour Radio. We love having you with us, and we're going to do it again, despite
podcasts,
all the obstacles
all over the place. But direct route at 11thhourradio.com.
Yeah, check out our podcast wherever it may be. So we're going to go out on a track by Patrick Ross and Aaron Johnson, who's a banjo player. It's called Flintlock. I recorded it live.
Awesome. And we will be back next Friday.
See you next week. Have a great week.
Bye, guys.